just in a minute. Hi there. We're out in the wonderful spring weather and we've decided that we're actually going to have lunch out today. Obviously we're in the countryside, so we thought we'd make the use of this resource that we've got down here. So yeah, we've come down, we've set up camp, we've got our fire going, and yeah, hopefully we've got some good ingredients for this, Lois.
Well, reasonable. I'm going to make some soup. We've brought some ingredients with us, and then we're going to add some really nice seasonal wild plants to it. So mainly today that's going to be nettles and wild garlic, because we're in a little patch that's got lots of both of those, but then I'll add a few little extra bits to just garnish the top of the soup afterwards.
Fantastic. So you've pretty much got everything you need?
Yeah, I think I've got everything. I've got a knife to cut up the bits and bobs I've got. So yeah. I've only got one spoon.
One spoon.
Are you going to be able to make a quick spoon while I do the soup?
Well, we've got materials. I've got my knife with me, so yeah.
Got an axe?
I've got an axe with me, yeah. So, okay, I'll sort that out.
I'll do the
you
soup.
do the soup,
Yeah.
righto.
So I've just cleaned the potatoes in the little stream, but in case it's not as clean as it should be, I'm just going to swill them with a little bit of fresh water. Just like that. That's all it needs, really. And that conserves our fresh water that we've got with us. Now I'm going to chop these potatoes up. And I'll do them really nice and small. If I was doing this at home, I'd probably leave them a bit chunkier and then I would whiz it all up at the end, but we haven't got the whizzer with us, so I'm just going to chop everything nice and small and then fry these up in the pan. Right, so now I'm getting some nettles. Nettles are fantastic, especially this time of year when they've just come up with a new flush of growth. They've got fantastic vitamins and minerals in them. They're high in vitamin A, vitamin C. They've got some B vitamins. They've got vitamin K. They're a fantastic plant. Great springtime tonic. So I'm going to gather a bag full of those. I'm just going to take the tips. And the little new tips don't sting you. But if the nettles are a bit older and taller, you just take the whole thing and just strip off the leaves off the stem. You might want to wear a glove then, because they're a little bit more feisty at that stage. But at the moment, these are not stinging me at all. But maybe that's the famous last words. They'll probably get me in a minute. They're so lush at the moment. They're fantastic. So I'm probably going to fill this bag really, because they'll go down a bit like spinach. So a whole bag will go down to nothing almost, but you'll have all those vitamins in there. So I'm being really careful here because the nettles are now mixed in with some dog's mercury, and that's actually a poisonous plant. So I'm going to pick really carefully along this little patch. That's the dog's mercury, which you do not want in your soup. And I'm just going to get these really lovely nettles around them. So I'm here amongst the wild garlic and the aroma is fantastic. It's lovely oniony smell. Perfect time of year to get them, mid to late March. These lovely lush little leaves just come out and absolutely gorgeous. It's quite potent stuff, so you're not going to need much of this. So I'm just going to gather some of these lovely little ones here. This one. Oh yeah, smell of this. This is going to be wonderful. Just going to add a lovely flavour to the soup. Gorgeous. So I've gathered all my ingredients and I'm going to start cooking. So I've got my pan, which I'm going to pop on the fire. Pour a little bit of oil in. Maybe a bit more. Right, potatoes going in. Oil's nice and warm. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Give it a sizzle. All those in. Give them a stir. Hopefully they won't sting me too much. Let's see if I can get away with it. Scrunch them all up and then give them a little chop. They didn't sting me when I was picking them, but now they're fighting back a little bit. I can feel it stinging my fingers. But it's good for you. It's good for your circulation to be stung a bit. Right, I put my chopped ones on the lid of the pan and get another handful out of my bag. Squeeze them all together and chop through. Oh, they smell good. Really lovely. Mixing the ransoms in with them. The smells are lovely. All this green stuff, so good for you. So the potatoes are doing really well. They smell really good. And I'm going to pour in my greens. So in go the nettles, wild garlic all mixed in. Got another batch here. They're all going in. I'll give it a stir. Yeah, they're sort of going down already. They just sort of wilt and go into it. Give that a stir. Then I'm going to put in some salt. Heat from the fire is really nice on this changeable March day. 1 minute it's cold, windy and wet, and then the sun comes out and it's warm and summery again. So a little bit of salt. Might put some more of that in a minute, and I've got a little bit of pepper here as well. Let's see about this. Ooh, oh, that's going to be nice. It's going to give it a little kick. Right, I brought some stock with me, some vegetable stock, and I'm going to pour that in. Oh, and all these smells and the colours. It's amazing. I can't wait to serve this up for Ben. I think he's going to like this. Right. Big spoon in. Oh, yeah. So now I'm just going to leave that bubbling. Get those potatoes cooked right through and let all the seasoning meld in together.
So while Lois is making the soup and gathering all the ingredients for it, I've gathered my own ingredients for a soup spoon. So this is a piece of hazelnut. We've just cut it straight out the hedgerow. So yeah, you can't get much fresher than that. This is a fairly clean section. I'm obviously going to avoid this big knot at the top, but we'll leave it fairly long because obviously when you're cooking on a big campfire, you want a fairly long handle because you don't want to burn your fingers. So first of all, I'll cut it to length. So we'll cut this end off. Really nice clean timber to use as well, hazelnut. And then we'll cut that, it's probably about 12 inches long I suppose. So that's perfect. So we've cut that to length now, and I've got my axe ready, so we're ready to split that in half. And I've just noticed that something's been eating actually a hazelnut on my chopping block. So we've got hazel timber, and obviously that's the fruit that some little squirrel or something has opened up and eaten, so we'll discard that and we'll see if we can split this down. So I'm trying to look for the perfect sort of side for the spoon, so I'm actually going to split it through this plane. And the easiest way and the safest way to do it is just to lift the whole piece of wood up, both the axe and the piece of wood, because I haven't got a mallet with me, and just knock the axe into the piece of wood like so. And then once it's in sufficiently, I can use the axe like a furrow just to open up that split. So we've got our two halves. So in theory, we should be able to get 2 spoons out of this. We'll only need one because Lois has only forgotten 1 spoon, so that'll be perfect for the spoon that I can eat my soup with. So I've just removed some of that pith. There's just a little bit of residual pith left on there. And it's important really, if you want a spoon to last, to remove all that pith out of your spoon blank, otherwise as it dries it will crack. Obviously this is like a sort of improvised spoon just on the trail, so even if it just lasts for a couple of meals, that's going to be fine. And then what we'll do is we'll choose this end for probably the functioning end, the bowl of the spoon, and this will be our nice long handle. So remove that waste material from the back side of the handle of the spoon, and then I can take a little bit off the sides as well. So now I've removed a little bit of that waste with the axe. The easiest way when you're out and you've got the tools with you is to actually use a little saw. We'll put a little plunge cut in here, a little stop cut, and that will make it a little bit easier to remove the waste. So not too deep, only about 8mm, and then this side. And that will just help me remove that material safely without splitting the sides of my spoon off. Just like that. So I'm just removing a little bit of that waste material at the front of the spoon, just with the axe. And then I'll just take a little bit off these square shoulders as well with the axe as well. Chop back in this way. So I'm pretty much happy with how I've axed out the shape. I think the rest I'll just do with the knife, which quite frankly sitting around the campfire is probably the nicest place to do it, and I can check to see how Lois is getting on with the soup. Hey Lois, how's the soup going?
Brilliant, how's the spoon going?
Well, it's getting there. I've done the axe work, so if you're alright still cooking, I'll just carry on whittling this if that's okay.
Look, it's boiling up nice now. Look at that.
Right.
Yeah, it's going good.
That looks pretty good actually, that. I could smell that wild garlic.
Well, the soup's done. Is that spoon done, Ben?
The spoon is pretty much finished, so it's quite fantastic really that we've managed to gather the spoon from the hedgerow and the soup from the hedgerow.
Lovely, great. I will dish up.
Woohoo! Fantastic, thank you, Lois.
Now, would you like homemade cheese scones to go with it?
Oh, I certainly would. That's fantastic, thank you.
Nice, yeah.
Wow.
Spring greens.
That is good.
Really good.
It's really nice.